Intense Waves, and welcome to Creation Lab, a channel about writing and theories like one from this video. So you might be wondering if you have seen this theory in another video, but that was actually also my video, but I did it on my original channel, but I decided to switch channel, so I deleted everything from there. But I'm remaking this theory because I liked it very much and I worked a lot on it, and I thought it would have been a pity if I didn't do anything with it. So here we go. So Transformers Rescue Bots is officially a kid show, and they have to do a lot of stuff to keep it that way. But they also sneaked in some very interesting storylines. Like my best example is Doc Green marrying Professor Baranova, and then they have a child together who is Frankie's half-sister. And then they have an episode where they show Frankie now learning to adapt to her new family. And as an older sibling, I think I have a right to say it's done pretty realistically. And the conclusion of the episode is also very nice, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. Today we're actually going to talk about the youngest of the Burns siblings, Cody. So from the title of the video and thumbnail you can probably already tell what my theory is. So the gist of it is that I think Chief Burns adopted Cody when he was a baby. And let's get into the reasons why I think that's the case. So the reason I started this theory in the first place is because of the season 1 finale, specifically the second part, But to the Future. So basically what happens, they accidentally get sent to the past, the bots, Cody, Frankie, and then Doc Green's yellow bot thing, and they forget that yellow bot in the past, which causes Gryffindor to become Meropolis, an alternate reality where Morocco is a dictator. So they go around the island and they try to figure out why it happened. And we stumble upon Chief Burns, who is actually janitor at the museum where they were researching. And then Cody goes to greet him, hug him, and but Chief doesn't actually recognize him and says he doesn't have a son named Cody. And then we go back to the firehouse, and turns out he still has Graham, Danny, and Kate, but not Cody. So basically the question here is, why isn't Cody the Chief's son in this alternate reality? Now I think I've seen somewhere people saying that, oh, Mrs. Burns just died before he could give birth to Cody in Meropolis. But here's the thing, if Cody was never born in that timeline, he should have started disappearing, because the time travel in Rescue Bots basically follows the rules of the time travel from Back to the Future. And in that movie, the main character does something which prevents his parents from actually getting together, and he starts disappearing. So in Meropolis, Cody should have also started disappearing because he was never born, right? But he doesn't disappear. So I've thought about it, and I've realized that the reason he didn't start disappearing is because he does exist in the Meropolis timeline, just not as the Chief's son. And that's because he was adopted. And if you start piecing together details from the show, then it makes a lot of sense. Like, for example, how they have this story arc for him where he's struggling to find his place. And if you actually look at the group photo of a family, you'll kind of notice that Cody sort of sticks out. I mean, you kind of have to see it to get what I mean, but I put one on screen and you'll see what I mean. Now, as to how exactly he was adopted in one timeline but not in the other, I only have a partial answer. So the reason I think Cody was adopted in the Griffin Rock timeline but not in the Meropolis timeline is because in Griffin Rock they can just leave the island as they want, but in Meropolis I'm pretty sure they are confined to it, like they can't leave anywhere else. And the reason why that's relevant is because it's possible that Cody is not from Griffin Rock and his parents found him like on the mainland, as they call it. But in the Meropolis timeline, because he was never allowed to leave the island, he couldn't have found Cody and adopted him, right? So that could explain it, but I'm still having a very hard time figuring out the details of what happened. So if you have any ideas, if you maybe noticed something that could help, please write down in the comments and I could make an update. Now this is it for this video, but I have other Rescue Bots content to come, and also about other stuff as well. So don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!